Jack from B&T MacFarlane, and today we're going over the brand new RTV X series. So let's get into it. This is another brand new model that Kubota has come out with for the 2024 season. It is the RTV X series. So it's a brand new model in the RTV series. It is part of the diesel powered lineup. So where it fits in the lineup, you're gonna have the RTV 520, which is the smaller gas series model. You're gonna have the RTV X G850, which is the bigger, faster, sportier gas model that Kubota makes. And then you're gonna have the RTV X series, which is gonna be the rugged utility open station diesel model in the RTV lineup. And then above that, you're gonna have the RTV X 1100. That's gonna be the exact same platform as the RTV X series, except it's gonna have that fully enclosed factory cab. And then you're gonna have, again, a brand new RTV X 1130. It's gonna be the exact same as this, a little bit older styling on the front end, but that long bed. So once we get one of those, I will be making a video on that. So if you notice the RTV lineup, they used to have the RTV X900, the RTV X1120. So those were two models, and then they combined those two models to make the RTV X series. So there's no longer the 900 or 1120, which I think was a much needed change because there was a lot of models between the X900 and X1120, between all the different colors and tires and bed options. You would have close to 12 different models to choose from. Now with the new X series, you're gonna have about 6 or 7 different models to choose from, and a lot of those options come down to different tires and different color options that you can get. So we're going to start off by talking about the different trim packages and the different colors that are available in the new RTV X series. So there's 3 different color options. The first one being the Kubota orange that you see here. There is also a camo, which is very common in a lot of the other RTV models. So that does make a return in the RTV X series. They also have a tan color, and that's only reserved for the highest trim package. So you're only able to get that color if you do opt for the highest trim package. And there are 3 different trims you can get on the RTV X series. There's gonna be the basic one. That's gonna be a pretty standard option. It's gonna have a smaller front bumper. It's gonna have manual dump, and it's not gonna have LED lights. So that's gonna be a pure work vehicle for someone who's just looking for a little bit cheaper option to run around their property or run around their farm. The second tier is going to be the standard option. That's going to come with the wraparound front bumper, the LED lights, hydraulic dump, spray and bed liner, bed cleats in the bed as well. That's going to be this one here. I'd say this is going to be the most common one that we see. So this is going to be where about 90% of the models get sold to. And this is going to be very similar to what the RTV X900 and X1120 were. The top line is going to be the premium line. So again, this is going to be where the tan color is going to be available. That's the only trim level where the tan color is available. And the only difference between that one and the standard one you see here is it's going to have the Pro Convert bed. So when we talk about the bed, we will talk about that Pro Convert feature a little bit more. Taking a look at the front end on the RTV X series, this is going to be where most of the styling changes are found on the new series. You're going to see the front end is a little more styled, brings it more in line with what a lot of other side-by-sides are looking like in 2024. It also comes standard with the LED headlights on that standard or premium trim package. You can see here the nice big bumper that wraps all the way around. It does have the front hitch like a lot of the other models used to have, so they did bring that back for the 2024 model year, so you are able to tow trailers from the front or from the rear of the machine. And there's a ton of options you can get up front here. You're able to get winches, you're able to get upgraded light kits, and then for snow removal applications, you're able to get a front blade, whether that be a residential blade that's going to be more basic in use and easier to take on and off for your own personal driveway, or you can get commercial blades as well. That's going to have hydraulic angle, hydraulic up and down, and you can even get a hydraulic V blade for the front of this as well. So the suspension on the RTV X series remains largely the same. So it is independent suspension for both the front and the rear axles. Taking a little bit closer look at the front axle, you're going to see the brand new tires. So these are called the HDMP tires. They are the heavy duty multi-purpose tires. So they're very similar to the old worksite tires that the RTVs used to have. but they're a little bit more aggressive. So they're gonna be nice for someone who's looking for a tire that's not gonna rip up their lawn, that's gonna be easy on the work sites, driving point A to point B on their farm, but also a little bit more aggressive if you do find yourself in the deep dark woods, or you do find yourself doing a little bit of light trail riding with it. Now I'm inside of the operator station on the new RTV X series, and this is going to be where Kubota addressed most of the concerns over the previous model years. So the X900 didn't have the door, the X1120 had the door. So Kubota decided on the new X series to not go with the door, and I think this is a really good idea, because if you're going to be using this for work, which 99% of people will be using them for work, it's really nice to not have to worry about the door opening and closing if you're in and out of this machine a few hundred times a day, potentially, if you're running around your property. And then another concern that was on the older models was the parking brake. So they went ahead and they changed that. It's a lot easier to engage and disengage. It's not this big clunky handle looking thing. I don't even really know how to describe it. I'll try and find a video of one and post it here. Another thing that they addressed was the gear shifter. This has been infamous with Kubota RTVs for years. Since it is a hydrostatic transmission, it is much like a tractor, being able to shift from high, medium, and low range. So sometimes the gears, they're not perfectly aligned. So when you're shifting from high to low to reverse on the RTVs, there is a bit of binding on the older models. But on the new model, I'll do a video later of myself shifting through all the gears and driving it around a little bit, but it's very smooth, it's very easy. They went and changed the shape of the gears so they do slide in a lot easier, and when you put your foot on the brake, it does release a lot of pressure from the transmission. So shifting from high to reverse, which you'll find yourself doing a lot with these machines, is much easier. And then when we do the drive around too, they also addressed the speed and acceleration concern that a lot of people would have. So this machine, just driving it around the yard here for the past 10 minutes, it's extremely peppy, way peppier than the older model, and it's noticeable as well. You get up to speed much quicker. They haven't changed the top speed, so you're still limited to about 40 kilometers an hour, but the acceleration is a significant upgrade. So being the standard trim level, it does come equipped with the hydraulic dump feature, which is extremely nice. So anything that'll fit inside the bed, you're able to hydraulically dump with just a lever up on the operator station. And then taking a little bit closer look at the bed itself, it does have a spray-in liner. Again, that is standard in the standard trim level, but it doesn't have the Pro Convert. I'll try and find a video and post it now showing what that Pro Convert looks like. But essentially what it does is it converts your bed in from a traditional bed where you would load material in to a flat loading deck. So all these sides, they'll fold down, the back one will come off and the side one will come off. You physically remove them, and then you're gonna have a flat loading surface. So that's gonna be reserved for the top trim level. Taking a look at the back of the new RTV X series, it's going to be largely the same. You're still going to have the independent rear suspension. You're going to have your 2-inch receiver back here, so you are able to tow trailers again from the back of the machine or from the rear of the machine. There are a couple of attachments you can get in the bed of these RTVs. The main one is going to be a cargo box salter or sander. So it's going to be a salter unit that sits inside the bed of the RTV, and then you're able to salt parking lots, salt your driveway, or spread sand if you do spread sand instead of salt. Other than that, it has remained largely the same back here compared to the X900 or X1120. The person who's going to be looking at an RTV X series is going to be someone who has work in mind first. That's going to be their #1 priority. If you're looking for a recreational vehicle that does 40, 50 miles an hour, you're not going to find that in the RTV X series. You're going to be more inclined to go with the RTV XG850. That's going to go about 60 kilometers an hour. So it's going to be a little bit peppier. So if you want something for play, that is definitely the one to go with. But if work is your primary focus, then getting the RTV X series is going to be right for you. They did do a lot of value-added upgrades in the new series. That transmission is a huge upgrade, and it's a lot peppier too, so it's not as sluggish off the line. You still are limited to about 40 kilometers an hour, but the acceleration does make it feel quite a bit quicker. And then the styling too, they upgraded the front end, they added LED headlights, and then if you're someone who has a use for that flat loading bed in the back, you will be able to get that on the Pro Convert models. So we're going to take a look at the transmission and the shifting on the new RTV X series. So we're going to put it into high, give it a little bit of gas there. Straight into reverse, right back into high. So that is a huge improvement. You're able to shift gears very, very rapidly. And then we'll give it a little bit of gas here. So it does have a lot more acceleration when you're just driving it around. It's a lot more enjoyable to drive. It's not as, again, sluggish off of the line. Come around the corner here. Come up, and we'll slow down and we'll shift it up into low. So when I put my foot on the brake, I can physically feel a lot of that pressure get released off of the transmission. It's not like the old ones where you'd have to tap the gas a little bit to get it into gear. It just seems to want to go into gear a lot easier, back into high, and then even back into reverse there. It's a lot easier. And that's where we're going to end the video on the brand new RTV X series. If you have any comments or questions, make sure you leave them down below. If you're enjoying our videos, remember to like and subscribe. And if you need help with parts, sales, or service, give us a call at 613-225-0555. Thank you.